It was the Hollywood romance we all wanted. The one that proves that love conquers all. The love that lasts through time, and cannot be denied. What the heck were we all thinking? When Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck rekindled their romance in 2021, 17 years after breaking off their engagement days before their wedding, it seemed to be a testament to the inescapable gravity of passion that pulled their two planets together. It was written in the stars, twittered the chattering classes, and the two Hollywood stars answered with an exchange of vows in 2022. But that fairy tale fantasy collapsed this week, like a brother's grim yarn with the cruelest of endings, as J.Lo celebrated the second anniversary of their flamboyant wedding ceremony by filing for divorce. They were like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. They couldn't live without each other, but couldn't live together, says an insider. They loved each other, and perhaps still do in a way, but that wasn't enough. Shockingly for a modern Hollywood marriage, there was no prenuptial agreement, a source told news network TMZ, yet another indication of the naively blind trust in the inescapable success of their forever union that the couple shared. They now face a potentially ugly battle to untangle their entwined finances. Lopez, aged 55, filed for divorce on Tuesday, listing the date of her separation from Affleck, aged 51, as April 26. There was a sad inevitability to the petition, surprisingly filed with the Los Angeles court by J.Lo herself rather than by a lawyer, after turbulent months of domestic disharmony. It was an exasperated Affleck who wanted out of the marriage, say insiders, but he gracefully allowed his estranged wife to save face by filing for the divorce. If there was a way to divorce on grounds of temporary insanity, he would, an insider told the New York Post. He feels like the last 2 years were just a fever dream, and he's come to his senses now and understands there is just no way this is going to work. To the outside world, the merging of J.Lo and Affleck seemed predestined. They had loved each other as young Hollywood stars, and even after 2 decades and several marriages apart, were irresistibly drawn together, says a source. They seemed a perfect match. They were both kids who had emerged from hardscrabble beginnings. She was Jenny from the block, rising from the tough streets of the Bronx in New York. He was the smart-mouthed son of an alcoholic from working-class Boston. And having both risen to Hollywood's heights, they recognized affinities within one another. But romantic dreams weren't enough to make it work, says the source. Ben had to put behind him his hard drinking ways, his inveterate gambling and nights out with the boys, to fit into Jen's romantic idyll. And he was happy to do it. But he found that Jen was not the same sassy girl from the block he had fallen in love with 20 years earlier. She had become a full-fledged diva, and that grated on Ben, who remains down to earth. She's become a champagne and caviar kind of woman, and he's still a beer and nuts kind of guy.